and welcome back to the fourth and the last video in this mini series on how to make your own DIY wedding flowers in a country style. This video is all about making posy style buttonholes like this one, and this one, this one, and this one. This style of buttonhole is really fun to make, but just make sure you choose materials that are going to be robust and hold up for the whole of your day. If you choose any particularly fleshy stems, your flowers may wilt, especially if the wedding takes place on a really hot summer's day. To make your buttonholes, you're going to need a selection of robust greenery, which is optional, and flowers. So I've got my larkspur, some of the alliums, my white spray, fennel, ears of wheat, the small eryngium, the large eryngium, and then optional, some of my leaves and the asparagus fern. You don't want to choose anything that's too fleshy and won't last and will wilt during the course of your day. As well as the flowers and greenery, you'll need string or ribbon to tie your buttonhole together, buttonhole pins. I'm going to be using buttonhole tape today. You might find it useful to bind your buttonhole together before you finish off with your decorative ribbon or string. What I start off by doing is going through with my flowers and putting them together in a pleasing way. On the whole, I've got something that's tall, my ear of wheat, something that's quite eye-catching, something that fills out a little bit, and possibly another smaller piece. So you put the little posy together in your hand until you're happy with the overall look. And I'm going to use a piece of my buttonhole tape to hold everything in place until I'm ready to do my decorative ties. So taking your buttonhole tape, reel off a short section and fold it over your stems. It's not sticky, this tape, it stretches and then holds in place. So pinching it between your thumb and finger, stretch out the tape. You see it's getting a little bit thinner there, and then roll your buttonhole into it. Just need to go around a couple of times and then tear the tape and smooth it down. That way it means that you can go on and make all your buttonholes and then come back and decorate them all in one go. So exactly the same principles. Take something that's a bit taller. Something eye-catching, something to fill, and an optional extra. And tie them in place. So here I'm working with my two purples and some greenery. I want to get a nice bushy amount of greenery. I'm going to cut off these side shoots. And bundle them together. For a nice fluffy plume. And with the leaves here, I'm going to pinch some of them off, just to reveal delicate character of the end of the stem. And put them in together and arrange them in my hand again. Until you're pleased with the look. And when you're pleased with what you've got, tape off. I've already cut off my eryngium stem, and I think I might reattach it. I quite like this bushy greenery here. So I cut off this stem too. flower and a bit of greenery. Slide the two together and see whether I want to add in anything else. Some taller elements. My ear of corn. Perhaps even a leaf. And then tie everything off. So take the tape around your flowers, pinch it and hold it, and stretch out. So here are my buttonholes all ready to go. So I just need now to cover up this tape with some decorative finish. I'm going to use string on the first one, so reel out some string. I'm going to leave about 15 centimetres and just let that drape temporarily over the little posy. And bring my string down. Can you see the tape just there? I'm starting lower down than the tape, and I'm going to start winding back up towards the head. Just going to trim off that long stem there that's out of my way. And I'm getting each piece of string to lie next to the next one, so it's a nice smooth finish. Going carefully around the head of my flowers so I don't knock them. A little bit more to go. And there I've covered all the tape. So I can trim off this length here. And tie a knot. So ideally you need to keep your stems long, recut the ends and put them in the jam jar perhaps just to keep them fresh, and then when you're ready to go, trim them all to length and add a buttonhole pin for fixing to your lapel. I've got lots of purples in this buttonhole, so I'm going to use my purple gingham ribbon. The same thing, leave a tie over the top of the posy, and come down to where the tape is, just below the tape, and start winding back up again. You'll notice that I'm not cutting my ribbon down before I start. I'm trimming off when I've finished, and that way I won't have to guess how much ribbon to use. Twist my flowers and the ribbon will follow. That's my original tail that I left, so I'll trim the other ribbon to the same length. So tie it in a knot to hold fast. I might do a bow on this one. Once you've made your bow, pull the tails to make the loops smaller and then pull sharply to tie. And trim your tails to length. And the ends as well. And the same again. Leave your tie draping over your flowers. Pinch it down over the tape. Start a little bit lower and then bind your way up to the flowers. Round and round. And if you prefer, twist the flowers. Making sure the string lies neatly, one reel, one coil on top of the other, so you hide the tape. Back to the beginning. Cut off and tie off, making sure your string doesn't unravel, which can be a bit fiddly. Tie in a bow or a knot, up to you, and trim off the ends. If you add a pin as you work, you won't forget. Trim to length. And the last one, I'm going to trim the stems just so I can work more easily. Then we'll add the gingham ribbon again. So lie over the top, bring the ribbon over your tape, start winding back up. Trim off the ribbon. I'm going to tie this one in a knot. Cut the ends short. And there are the finished buttonholes, like miniature posies. Just remember to add your pearl-headed pin as you make your buttonholes, and that'll be what's used to fix them to your lapel. So you could tie off with string, make it quite long, or go for a shorter section. And the same with the ribbon, go long or short. Tie off with a knot or a bow. I hope you enjoyed the video and you found it helpful for making your own buttonholes. Don't forget, if you've got any questions at all, you're always welcome to ask them in my free Facebook group, Flower Start World, or tag me on Instagram. I'm at Flower Start with an underscore at the end, and use the hashtag FlowerStart. Well, that brings us to the end of this mini-series on how to create your own DIY wedding flowers in a country style. I really hope you've enjoyed the videos, and I'd love to know how you get on with your own DIY wedding. And if your wedding's going to be more traditional, perhaps you're using red roses. I've also got a red rose DIY wedding video playbook, so check that out as well. It'll show you how to make buttonholes in a more traditional way, taping and wiring them to guarantee they will last throughout your day. That's all from me for now, and I'll see you next time. Oh, one more thing. Because your buttonholes are like mini posies, you do need to keep them in water until you're ready to wear them. I've had mine resting in a glass with a tiny amount of water, so you may want to do the same thing with yours.